Good evening, everyone. Oh, thank you. That's for you. Good evening, everyone here in the Great Hall and watching the live stream, wherever you may be. My name is Wes Waddell. I am a skinny, white, starting to bald, early 40s, scraggly fella in a shirt that was my father's. And I'm the Associate Director of Bushwick Northwest, a 501c3 nonprofit dedicated to delivering literature, music, and songwriting to the Seattle community while building the next generation of musicians and readers. We're so happy to be here at Town Hall for our season, our 12th main stage season this year. How about a hand for Town Hall? And tonight, especially, is the inaugural Aloud event, a collaboration between Bushwick and Town Hall's program director Shinyi Pai. Shinyi suggested 3 local authors with new books, all of whom are here tonight. They will read before we all enjoy brand new songs composed specifically for tonight, inspired by their work. That sounds exciting to me. I'm glad it does to you as well. Before we begin, I'd like to take a moment to note that tonight's performance takes place on the unceded ancestral lands of the Coast Salish and Duwamish people. Bushwick and Town Hall encourage all in attendance to honor these histories and contemporary concerns, and to learn more about whose land you may be occupying. And now to get things rolling, please welcome your host for the evening, poet, author, educator, and creator of the Drag Star app, Evan J. Peterson.
Inspiration from the page, now translated for the stage. It don't matter what your age is, all the rages, right here at the Bushwick Book Club. Inspiration from the page, now translated for the stage.
Well, hello there.
It don't matter what your age is,
Good to see you all.
all the rages,
And good to know that those watching remotely are also with us tonight. I am your MC this evening. I am Evan J. Peterson. Thank you. For those tuning in or present who would like a visual description, I am about 5.5 feet tall, white fellow with ginger blonde hair. I am wearing a shiny, shimmery, silver and gold Xanadu kind of roller disco jacket and some nice jeans. All right, that's me. I get to perform a lot with the Bushwick Book Club, which is wonderful. I've been part of their Dune show, which was last month. Was anyone here for Dune? Excellent. And pre-pandemic, or even during pandemic, I got to be in Frog and Toad. I got to be in The Beautiful Ones, which was the Prince memoir. And Exhalation by Ted Chiang, and then back in time to when we did the Frankenstein show, and I've been with Bushwick Book Club a long time. And now I get to MC, so that's wonderful. We have a little technical issue backstage where we can't hear what's going on stage. Did Wes already give you my bio, tell you about my books, etc.? Oh, great. Oh. Did you pick up a copy of the custom Ink Aloud crossword puzzle? So if you said yes, awesome. I love Amy Zoe. And for those
Bushwick musician to interpret some of my own work as a writer. Jeff Larson and Liu Kellor, Seattle. Her recently published memoir about one woman's search for identity, enlightenment, and connection. Heart Radical takes the reader through the landscapes of Western China and Tibet and the author's experiences of living in a culture that is not
drunk heart, to be fascinated or enchanted. I am fascinated by these words. My heart is drunk with this language. I look in the dictionary under Xin. In Chinese, mind and heart are not held at a distance. Xin, the word for heart, also means mind, feeling, or intention, as well as center, middle, or core. Remember this as I speak of the heart. Xin Cao, heart tide, a surge of emotion. Xin Bing, heart ill, to be anxious or worry. Xin Shu, heart empty, false or weak, to feel guilty. Empty like the loss you feel when you do not follow what you know. False like the shame you feel when you do not speak your mind. Or weak like the hot surge of regret when you hide yourself from yourself. When I walked away from love, inside I knew, my heart knew it was bruised with sorrow. Sang Xin, wounded heart. I worked through each day, pushed babies in strollers and sang them sad songs, bided time until I could lie down in the shadows, return to the darkness, be with the pain, breathe deeply and rub slowly in circles. If you do not give yourself love, then who will? If you cannot soothe your own wounds, then who will? The heart is a muscle. If you do not stretch and breathe into its tendons and suddenly find your core pushed, pulled, or strained, you will wake tender and sore. I'm not speaking in abstractions. I mean a burn in your chest, a burn you press and massage gently with the palm of your hand to acknowledge. Shaoxin, small heart, to be careful. Kaixin, open heart, to be happy. Xin Shui, heart blood, painstaking effort. What is the blood of the heart? Can we afford to give it away? Must we feel pain before opening? 4 strokes of a brush form the shape of a heart. In Chinese, heart is a word that you can join with other words to make new words. But sometimes the heart is hidden deeper. Sometimes the heart is a radical, the part of a character that hints at its root meaning. Water radical, hand radical, knife radical, heart radical. I don't know which radical is present until I can see the character, examine each component, search for the meaning inside. Once upon a time, the heart radical lived inside I, the word for love. But now they've simplified. A committee changed the characters, and the heart radical is missing. In the middle of the character, instead of the 4 curved strokes of the heart, there is only a single straight line. For now, both versions still live in my dictionary. The older one follows the new, shadowed between parentheses, like an afterthought or a reminder. Thank you.
Thank you, Anne Liu Kellor. We would like to present you, each of you 3, with a commemorative poster designed by Mike Wallenfalls, who is our resident graphic designer. So thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining us tonight and sharing your beautiful work with us. I myself am not fluent in any other language than English, even my ancestral ones, but I do know a little bit of Yiddish from my bubby. Now, of course, what we do at Bushwick Book Club is to hire and pay for their time and commission musicians to write new work inspired by literature. So it's wonderful to have a bunch of living writers with us. You know, there's that whole idea that people only really catch on after they're dead, And I think we should leave that in the 20th century. I think that's a very September 10th kind of idea. So bringing us forward, I think it is very important to celebrate our authors, our musicians, all of our artists who are with us now. On that note, I would like to introduce to you Leanna Keith. Leanna is a first-time performer with the Bushwick Book Club, a freelance flautist, artist, improviser, and composer. Leanna Keith, she, they, delights in creating sound experiences that make audiences laugh, cry, and say, "I didn't know the flute could do that." Her performance artworks focus on cultural connection and breaking of audience-performer boundaries. So yes, you are in the splash zone. She is dedicated to playing music by composers who are still living and advocates for the usage of music as social activism. Her 2021 release, which she composed, performed, recorded, and mixed, is Tarot Album. Leanna is a professor of the flute at Cornish College of the Arts, and she will be returning to perform with another artist next month when we feature our show of music inspired by crying at H Mart. All right, I'm going to stop talking and leave it up to you, Leanna. Thank you so much for being here.
Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to be here today. Anybody who knows me knows that I'm like a huge reader, and so the fact that I could get to combine these things makes me very happy. A little visual introduction about myself. I'm wearing a bright red jumpsuit with knives covered all over it and gigantic earrings, and I have dark green hair, so I look like a cartoon character, which I like. I'm also mixed race, half Chinese, which makes me very connected to this book that I am delighted to be interpreting into sound by Anne. I have what is kind of known within a mixed people community problem as a heritage language problem, which means that when I was a baby, I was fluent in Mandarin, but as I grew older, I lost it. And the part of my brain that recalls the language still hears it and understands it, but I have no vocabulary. It's in a different part of my brain that got replaced with English. And so as a result, I can hear when Chinese people are talking about me, but I can't say anything back, which is awkward. So I really connect very deeply to this book. As the introduction mentioned, I am an improviser, and so I actually didn't write anything, and I will be writing something for you right now on stage in real time. And so what you'll hear today is something that I'll make for you right now, and no one else will ever hear it again unless it's recorded somewhere. So it's just for you. It's just for us right now. So I'm going to be improvising, particularly based on a chapter that really touched me called Red Bird, which really kind of dove into this like tumultuous feeling of being unsure of what you're doing and where you're at and if you're really doing the thing that speaks true to you. So that's what I'm going to be improvising on. I should also mention that I have a very large flute. This is a bass flute, so some of you may not have seen that before, and that means that this flute goes one octave lower than a regular flute, which puts us an octave lower than the middle C on a piano. So it's just a very, very large flute, and I love it very much. So let's see.
Keep that going for Leanna Keith. Beautiful way to start the evening. Next up, Rowdy Maggie. Rowdy Maggie is an Irish and American folk singer and aspiring folk music archivist. Her favorite performances are in dimly lit pubs, singing songs late at night that make people think and drink and sing and dance. Just like the author of Heart Radical, she is a child of immigrants searching for her place in American society, and she has previously appeared with the Bushwick Bookclub for the show How to Do Nothing. Do you remember the author of How to Do Nothing off the top of your head? Jenny Odell. Thank you. You're welcome. Rowdy Maggie.
Hello. I am Rowdy Maggie. He was like, go out now. I'm like, he's still talking. I'm just standing there. It's fine. Hello. So I had the pleasure of choosing this book. I was given, there's wind. This is not good. I was given the choice of this book or another book, and after kind of seeing what this book was about, I had to go with this one. I'm also, like they said, a first-generation American, and many of the things in the book were like word for word experiences that could have been about my life, except different places and names and, for example, the author talks about her mother and grandmother hiding in a cave at one point, from bombs. I'm like, well, my father and his mother hid in a ghetto in Budapest from bombs. Or they talked about how the culture of the Chinese parents, they were like, oh, don't go back to China. And I was like, well, one time I went through a whole TEFL course and I was gonna go teach English in Hungary, and then my dad was like, if you go back there, I will never talk to you again. So I didn't go. And then my nephew posted on Facebook a year later that he was the first one back to Hungary, and I was like, this is dumb. Anyway, so my family wanted an American daughter. They didn't teach me anything. So there were things in the book that made me jealous, like all the connections that Miss Kellor had with her family through culture and language, which of course she spent a lot of time learning, and I know how to say, I don't know how to speak Hungarian, but I won't say it out loud because it's wrong. So yeah, as American as it gets, I've got $54,000 in student loans. What I wrote here is a gut response. I'm actually really nervous about this wind, though. My paper keeps falling off. I might lose it. I don't know. So what I wrote is a gut response. It's more of like I don't know if you guys have seen Bob's Burgers, but it's like an extended museum. It's not so much a song. Yeah, see? You have like a clip or something. Okay. Thank you. I guess while he's doing that, they told us for the people who are just listening today, I am a white Jewish American with a big nose, long hair, and I'm wearing thank you so much, my mother's amber necklace from Czechoslovakia. I wrote a little letter to my mom. Thank you, that's so good. Thank you, Jeff, Larson, everybody, yay. Hero. So this is just a letter to my mom. She's actually here today, and she's going to hear it for the first time. So it's kind of, that's why I'm shaking, because it's weird. We actually had that conversation with Miss Kellor via email, where it was like, it's really hard to talk about your family. You either go all Everclear and write an entire album about your dad, or you don't do it at all. So anyway, here we go. My mother, who came here in the 60s, right after the Prague Spring. She's in the audience, and I'm going to sing a song to her. Here we go. Actually, I'm going to take off this amber necklace because it keeps hitting my guitar. And then I'm going to sing the song. Dear Mom, I had have some stuff to talk to you about, Mom. Excuse me while I lay bare thoughts and spout the things I've always wondered, like why is the only word I know in your native language fart, which sounds like a fart. Prd. And Mom, I know you wanted an American daughter, well, here I am. But there's things that don't make sense. Our culture always decoration and afterthought. The thing that keeps me different from my peers. The things I bring to show and tell, like the fancy candies and your community college essay that you wrote about living behind the Iron Curtain with a picture of you and all your little friends on that potato farm in Czechoslovakia, the voluntary potato farm. You know, I never read that essay. Sorry. Dear Mom, there was a time I sat in my home, my RV, during COVID, just upset. No running water, no place to park, no Ethernet. The fir trees coming in from all sides, and yet I thought about your dad. Wasn't he a fiddle playing Roma? Wouldn't this RV with this amazing modern foam mattress and a space heater and just enough room to play an instrument or two be a dream for him? And then I realized my ancestors' blood runs through my veins. They would only give love, they're not ashamed. Dear Mom, as I sit here writing by these lit Hanukkah candles, I think about your mom's menorah all green and full of wax from celebrations past, and how you lit a candle for her every year on the anniversary of her death in remembrance. And once you lit a candle to save me from that disturbed spirit, Mom. I know I told you I do not want kids, and to be honest, that hasn't changed much. Kids are always wet and sticky and loud. But don't I owe it to my ancestors who survived literal Nazis to continue on our bloodline of survivors? What do you think, dear Mom? She's right there.
Thank you for that. I've been instructed to stand in this general area for proper camera framing. Next, we have another first-timer joining us. Mika Juan de Lorenzo is the associate principal cellist of the Seattle Symphony. Clap for that. Before moving to Seattle in 2009, she held the same title in the Utah Symphony. Outside of symphony life, Mika enjoys performing throughout the country as an avid chamber musician. In the summertime, she has participated in the Aspen, Ravinia, Sun Valley Summer Symphony, and Oregon Bach festivals. Mika lives in Broadview with her husband, the Grammy-nominated, Emmy Award-winning composer of tonight's work and trumpet soloist, Anthony de Lorenzo. They have one son, Luca. Mika plays a 1908 cello by Stefano Scarampella, When not playing the cello, she can be found spending time with her family or with her nose in a book. Please join me in welcoming Mika Juan Di Lorenzo.
I get some trumpet too. Okay. Should I talk into this one? Okay, great. Thank you so much for that introduction. Before I play tonight's piece for you, I just wanted to tell you a little bit about how it came to be. I neither compose nor improvise, and so I thought, oh no, I'm the wrong person. But you know, I live with my husband and he's a composer, and I harassed him into writing me a piece. And even though we've been married for a long, long time, we rarely get to collaborate actually. So we both decided to go out of our comfort zone. So thank you so much for this opportunity, Anne. I told him a few things about Anne's book, and he really ran with a scene and a theme. And the scene was something that Anne described so wonderfully vividly, which was Buto dance, which is, I think, was described as the anti-ballet, which I just loved. And Tony and I went down the YouTube rabbit hole, and if you ever get a chance to watch it, it is really incredible, and it's all improvised. And so if I do my job properly, it will seem like I'm improvising even though I'm not. And the theme was exploration. This piece is called Reflections of an Explorer. It explores racial identity and belonging, travel. And so you'll hear me sometimes try to imitate an erhu, and sometimes you'll hear me trying to play an Irish jig as a nod to my half Chinese, half Irish heritage. It's about 6.5 minutes. I hope you enjoy it.
I was going to do a scorcher, but I'm just first of all, I am a curvy I like to just wanted to talk about the.
It's in your bio. All right. On that note, C.D. Littlefield.
All right, how about now? Yes, there it is. Greetings, people of Earth. Gosh, you know, there's so many things I wanted to say to each and every one of you, but I guess I should start with the brief description of physical appearance, right? Black man, all black, black stage, black piano, in a room. Musician, holding trumpet, speaking into microphone connected to said instrument. Yeah, all those things. So like, yeah, I'm a musician, I'm a trumpet player, I've been around a while, played with a lot of folks. I'm very fortunate, I'm very blessed, wonderful family, good career. I'm happy. As the man would say at one point in time, if you love what you do, you never work a day in your life. And I keep all this echo going for a reason. Why is that? Because today, I consider myself the luckiest man on the face of the earth. That's a joke. I'm only serious. But yeah, the one main thing that actually occurred to me that I wanted to say about tonight, for one, okay, two or three. Gosh, you know, there are times, you know, in my career where, you know, I've been performing and, you know, there's just really fortunate opportunities to go on stage and do something wonderful and creative. And then you get stuck in the lineup behind all these other people that go before you. It's like, man, why do I have to go up after them? That was, what can I add to this evening's entertainment that can, you know, compete with that? You know, you don't like to be in those kind of positions, but you're honored. It's good to be in those kind of positions, right? As an artist, it's challenging and it's inspiring. Which brings me to my next point, inspiration and the creative process, right? For this particular piece, you know, I didn't know what to start with. I mean, it's a blank slate, right? Everybody, we all, as creative people, we have something, you know, we go, oh, I gotta write this piece, or I wanna write this piece, or, you know, oh, I got a commission, or a deadline, or all this kind of stuff. And it's like, what am I gonna start with? Well, shoot, let me just read the book, you know? And so I started going along, and then it started to hit me, you know, the creative process. And everybody has one, and it's different for everybody, you know, and it's like, as the man said, it's like many means necessary. However you get there, it's just so long as you get there is what matters, what you come up with. And this also speaks to the notion I tell a lot of my students, is that, you know what, personality and style go a long way. People come to see you, or they buy your works or listen to what you do because of what you do and how you do it, right? And so I started cluing in on that within the book that I was reading of Robert. Fantastic piece of work, by the way. And not only just because of, you know, certain themes are reoccurring, but I started to notice certain things about his style that seemed to stick out to me, you know, and it's the thing that everybody, all of our favorite artists have anyway. I mean, you know, for me, Miles Davis, you know, I could listen to that guy and it's like, I wouldn't even, if I'd never heard the song before or something like that, you know, within 4 bars, I know that's Miles. That's a style thing, right? So there's stuff that started to, you know, stand out to me through this process, and it's like, that's what the little kernel was. That's a little breadcrumb trail that took me down the path, and so I started putting some together. So as a composer and a producer, writer, creative individual, I started building this track, you know, with a random framework of ideas. And, you know, I just kind of let the whole thing pull me together, and it was really, really cool. And so, I mean, I enjoy the process. I mean, you guys may not think it's cool. I mean, whatever. It's art. Beauty's in the eye of the beholder, you know? Anyway, so I'm, you know, going to run it up the flagpole and see if everybody salutes. But, so what I decided to do with this, as I was putting this thing together, I was like, okay, well, how am I going to tie this in with what he's doing? I've never actually written anything to somebody else's, you know, literary works. It's like, got an idea. So I went through a lot of these phrases that caught my eye and got my attention through the book, and I decided, you know what, I'm going to put that in the song somehow, some way. And so I've been, you know, marking and highlighting and looking at a bunch of stuff, and thank God, you know, I had to actually kind of cut myself off at some point and say like, oh, I'm not going to get all this stuff in this tune, man. I'm going to have to make the tune a lot longer, but I had to give myself a little bit of framework and stop at some point. But anyway, so what I did, I took a lot of these phrases, I vocoded them, which is basically some sort of weird technical vocal effect, and put them all in this track that I built, and then I'm going to play some things, notes and stuff with my gear and my little spaceship over here. And we'll see what happens. All right, hope you enjoy.
Thank you, C.D. Littlefield. Our next performer joins us via video feed. Gray Violet is a singer-songwriter and spoken word artist known for the emotional quality of their work. They aim to showcase the beauty and range of Black queerness through art in hopes that people in their community can find joy and belonging. Gray has performed at the Black Joy Festival, the Dyke March, and they're a frequent poet at both Berkeley and Oakland Slam. Gray, if you're watching, we love you. Most recently, they blew up on TikTok for a spoken word piece around cultural appropriation, and Gray has joined us at past shows for the books Educated and Nnedi Okorafor's Akata Witch. Are we ready with that video? Perfect.
Hi, my name is Gray Violet, and I'm super excited to be performing today. For my piece, I decided to draw from the poem as I turned down this offer to buy a television for $5, America. The line, "If you let him hold something," really stuck with me, and I wanted to personalize that and use it in a context that fits me. I've also been listening to Lauryn Hill's I Gotta Find Peace of Mind. I've been listening to it religiously, and I wanted to include a similar line in my piece. Without any further ado. If you let me hold something, I'll make something of myself sometime. If you let me have a word, I'll make the prettiest song you've ever heard. If you let me have a beat, I promise you I'll keep it steady. Promise I'll hold something steady. Sometime, maybe not this time. Doesn't mean I haven't tried. But when I see myself reflected in the distant refrains of a Say My Name, and colored chalk at the latest art walk, and feel the pitying stares as someone gives a walking death sentence, no amount of performative pretense can give me peace. Like I can speak until my throat cracks dry, but until you try to see me as human, I will be forever mute. I can go up on every stage, but unless you give me the permission to own my rage, my face may never age, but my body has already decayed. But if you let me hold something, I can try to thrive. If you feed me crumbs, how will I ever survive? If you let me hold something of substance, something of truth, I promise you, I can come through. If you let me paint the town red with the remnants of a dirty suit, with the golden glimpses of untapped potential, I promise you I will go crazy, and maybe the lack of inhibition will inspire future generations to be free. Because I don't know what to say to the youth that asks me what to do. I don't know how to tell them the truth, that it doesn't get better. Then when you make a song, they'll only hear what the beat lands on. The lyrics will be forever ignored, and a store of incompetence and lack of care. And you can lay your heart bare, but they'll still dig out whatever is left there until you are empty. But if you let me hold something, I will try to get by. If you let me hold something, I will break that ceiling and bask in the Seattle sky. No matter how overcast and gray it may be, I promise you I will find a way out. You have to believe me. If you let me hold something, that something is peace. Give me peace of mind. I gotta find peace of mind. I'm looking for peace of mind. I gotta find peace of mind. Ooh, ooh. Peace of mind, like Lauryn Hill's hip-hop folk. Like sunshine and coal mines where you find the tiniest diamond of hope. Like tea and promises of what could be. If you let me hold a tiny bit of bliss, I promise I will deepen it into the softest kiss. Wrapped in a hug of black girl smiles, I promise you it'll be worth your while. I promise you I will no longer be a bitch. I promise you I will make it right with the folks I fucked over. Before I got older and realized that all shades of brown have the ability to drown in their own self-hate. So we must collaborate if we ever want to see better days. I promise you I'll let go of the haze that is self-inhibition. I promise you I'll lean into my own intuition. Make melanated premonitions that sound like renditions of killing me softly. And maybe this is too good to be true. But if you let me hold something, whatever I make, whatever breaks through, will be the best thing, will be something to hold on to. Just let me hold something. Won't you let me hold something? Oh, won't you let me hold something? If you let me hold something. Hi, my name is Gray Violet, and I'm
Thank you, Gray Violet. It is almost, but not quite, time for intermission, so I will keep this brief. A man who needs no introduction, but here's one, nonetheless. Reggie Garrett is a fixture in the Seattle songwriting scene and a fixture of the Bushwick stage. He has composed original music inspired by more than 24 books, including Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, Parable of the Sower, Persepolis, and Slaughterhouse-Five. Reggie, you ready? Or do you need a minute? Okay, I will fill time. So, who has read at least one of these books tonight? Okay, I see hands, I hear clapping. Who has read at least 2 of these books? Okay. Has anyone read all 3 of these books tonight? Yeah, can't win them all. Not yet. That is the perfect answer. Perfect. Not yet. You can signal me when you're ready. I
think I'm ready.
All right. Reggie Garrett, ladies and gentlemen.
I need to thank Jeff Larson. I got a grant to do a CD, and I decided I wanted to do a lot of songs that I've been writing lately dealing with the Black experience, a lot mine, my family, but also historical figures or people who should be historical figures who might not be that widely known. Anyway, this opportunity came up and Jeff thought about me, sent me the book. I said yes. As I read through the book, I read through the whole thing, marking it up, trying to come up with ideas and phrases, things that I could use, looking for a particular poem or 2 that I might be able to concentrate on, like tag and use as my anchor. But as I went through the thing, what I noticed, what I kept noticing, were all of the variety of situations that Mr. Lashley wrote about, but more than that, the variety of people, like the breadth and scope of all the different characters that he came across and made reference to. And it started to seem to me like he was just this, I don't know, entity wandering through the neighborhood, just gathering souls and inviting them in, this big welcoming tent, like, come on in, everybody's welcome. Yeah, this might be poetry, but you all belong. And I thought about that, and came up with this idea of the bus driver driving through the neighborhood, through the community, and everybody's welcome to get on board and take a ride. And I just kind of ran with that. This is called Down on the Corner. Well, I see 'em come, I see 'em go. Some flying high, some lying low, and young couples in their furtive fandango. Yeah, but we all know his needle is hidden out of sight, eyes red, dart left and right, a promise made that floats off on the breeze as he whispers, can you help me please? Down on the corner, praise flies by, outside streaks up through the morning sky. And now a shuffle once or twice, clapping hands helps to keep spirits high. You know, there's always room for one more on this bus. Grab your bags and climb on board. Well, mission time can't come today. The boss won't let me get away, and I gotta hustle, don't wanna miss my ride. And another dream denied. And no slick-head boys nowhere in sight. Seated ground to those braided knights who rock righteous jewelry from ancient times. Oh yeah, and revolutionary rhymes. Meanwhile, down on the corner, praise flies by, outside streaks up through the morning sky. And now a shuffle 3 and 4. Now I lay me down in this abandoned doorway. Well, there's always room for one more on this bus. Hey, get up off the ground, grab your blanket, climb on board. Past pavement, storefront, merchandise, all the scent of sweet potato pies. Tonight, McD's might be your compromise. Oh, but people, that's the devil in disguise. And all those young wise men in the streets today, the prophets of politics, well, they inveigh against the common wisdom held from yesterday. Well, that's their morality play. And still, down on the corner, praise flies by, outside streaks up through the morning sky. Now a scuffle 5 and 6. Neighborhood children hurl stones and sticks. Well, there's always room for one more on this bus. Hey, little bit, pick up your hurt pride and climb on board. Well, young girl's on a tear today. The mall cops shoot her friends away. Well, that red cute crown his sentiments betray. Keep the mongrels at bay. And the palaces of learning hide their treasures from the hungry tide. Let ignorance be our apartheid. Oh, and all access denied. But now and forever. Down on the corner, praise flies by outside, streaks up through the morning sky. And now a scuffle, 7 and 8 barbarians crowd around the gates. Well, there is always room for one more on this bus. Y'all make some room back there. Hey, young blood, don't sweat the fools. Grab your books and climb on board. Well, I see 'em come, I see 'em go. Some flying high, some lying low, and young couples in their furtive fandango. Yeah, but we all know we all know we all know. Thanks a lot, y'all.
Reggie Garrett. And on that always beautiful note, it's time for intermission. That's a good question. 10 minutes. Welcome back. As you can see, we have many guests with us tonight. But before we hear the music, we would love to bring up author Thomas Hitoshi Pruiksma, author of The Kural. And Thomas, you were introduced in the video by Shinyi.
I was.
Excellent. Then I will leave you to it.
Thank you. Thank you, Evan. Thank you to the Bushwick Book Club. Thank you to all of you for being here. And I have a particular thank you to our young musicians. Namaste, namaskaram, vanakkam. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you to your families for coming also. This is a very special event. For me in particular. For those of you listening in, you might see in your mind's eye someone who has roots to Okinawa on one side and to the Netherlands on the other side. You would see somebody wearing a rust-colored khadi shirt, which comes from South India, where I lived for a number of years, studying Tamil, the extraordinary living classical language of South India. And it's really been an extraordinary honor for me and a harrowing challenge to translate the Kural, Thiruvalluvar's Thirukural, into English. This masterpiece on ethics, power, and love, composed in Tamil, has been revered by Tamil speakers for more than 15 centuries, has inspired luminaries and leaders such as Albert Schweitzer and Mahatma Gandhi. And it seems particularly fitting that this translation, which comes out on January 11th, is appearing in public for the very first time tonight. And tonight, in an event which celebrates both books and music. Books and music have in common the capacity to move us. And the poet of the Kural, the great Thiruvalluvar, understood compassion to be the capacity of our eyes to be moved, to flow, to imagine the joys and sorrows of other people, to be able to see the world through others' eyes. In the first verse of Thiruvalluvar's chapter on compassion, he connects compassion to the very existence of our world. He says, "The astonishing beauty of eyes that are moved because it exists. This world exists." That verse in Tamil sounds like this, so you can hear something of its music. Kannottum ennum kaliperum karigai unmayan undivulagam. I'll do that again, because we get to hear this, and for people who have never heard Tamil, I think it is something extraordinary to listen to. Kannottum ennum kaliperum karigai unmayan undivulage. The astonishing beauty of eyes that are moved because it exists. This world exists. When we're moved by a poem, when we're moved by a song or a story or a book, we participate in what keeps the world alive. Which is why Thiruvalluvar places such great importance not only on our eyes, but on our ears. in the first verse of his chapter on listening, Thiruvalluvar says that what we can receive through our ears is the highest form of wealth. Riches of the ear, riches among riches, highest of all other riches. Selvatul selvam sevichelvam, achelvam chelvatulellam talai. Riches of the ear, riches among riches, highest of all other riches. I'm so glad to be here listening. Thank you.
Thank you, Thomas, Hitoshi, Pruiksma. I must apologize, my ignorance is on display. Not only did I mispronounce the title of the book, which I'll try again. Is it the Kural? Pretty close, okay. But I also misattributed authorship, I think. So please forgive me for that. And now, the Bushwick Book Club is very proud to present musicians joining us for the first time on our stage. This is the Temple of Music, who have been brought to us by Latha Sambamurthy, who could not be here tonight, with guest composers Lalita Mohan and violin maestro Ganesh Rajagopalan, and these students of the Temple of Music. So composer Lalita Mohan is an award-winning classical musician from Chennai, India. She underwent training under the great stalwarts of Carnatic music, Dr. M.L. Vasantha Kumari, Dr. S. Ramanathan, and Professor T.R. Subramanian. Lalita began learning when she was 3 years old under her mother, P.S. Raja Lakshmi, who's a musician. Lalita Mohan has been performing all around the globe. She sings in multiple languages with ease and has composed music for many dance dramas, musicals, and songs, including for the BBC. She is a graded All India radio and television artist in India and holds a doctorate degree in music. Indian classical violin maestro Ganesh Rajagopalan is an internationally renowned performer and composer for the past 4 decades. As a child prodigy, we can relate. Kidding. As a child prodigy, he has been performing since the young age of 7. He learned this art form from his father, Shri T.S. Rajagopalan, and completed his 100th performance before he was 10 years old. Clap for that. He is a founder and a guru of Temple of Music, where he trains youth around the world. Temple of Music is a 501c3 nonprofit organization founded by the internationally renowned performer and composer Ganesh Rajagopalan, who lives in Bellevue, Washington, and trains youth in Indian classical music. Temple of Music organizes various musical workshops, concerts, and Svara Yoga all around the world. Again, please forgive me if I have mispronounced any words or names. And I would love to introduce you individually, but I've been told to just introduce you as the Temple of Music. So, are we joined? Hello. Okay, I will leave it to the Temple of Music. Thank you.
Thank you, Evan, and good evening to all. Welcome to Kural evening. And you all heard from Thomas, Hitoshi, about the Kural itself. So I'm going to give a little intro about the Temple of Music and the the person who made this happen, Lata Sambamurthy, as well. So first of all, I want to say we all are honored to be part of this evening, bringing in harmony literary and performing arts. Thank you to the great author, Thomas Hitoshi, for translating this great work into English and bringing Kural from Tamil Nadu, India, all the way to Seattle here. A round of applause for that. My name is Shanti, and I'm representing Temple of Music here, and little visual representation. I'm wearing a silk sari, which is kind of like a mustard color with maroon border. And sari is very prevalent in the southern part of India, which is where Thiruvalluvar, who wrote Thirukural, was born as well. So I'm proud to be saying that I am from that part of the country. And my mother tongue is Tamil, which is what Thirukural is written in. So, Tamil. Thank you, sir. That's why you need a teacher to always correct you, right? Thank you, sir. So today I'll be introducing the producer, presenter of the show as well, Lata Sambamurthy, who is unfortunately not here today. Lata is the Washington State Arts Commissioner and is a producer and director of large-scale arts and cultural events in Washington State. She used to recite all of the 1330 couplets of Kural by heart as a little girl and has won many prizes in many Kural contests. So now you know why she brought this here and made this event happen. She truly has a passion for this. This book. She got really excited to get this project after reading the beautiful translation of Kural by our author here, Thomas Hitoshi Pruiksma. She conceptualized and produced this musical tribute. So today, as you heard from Evan, there are two composers for the evening, violin maestro Sri Ganesh Rajagopalan and Lalita Mohan. The students of Temple of Music are going to be playing two pieces for us today. The first one is in the ragam Hamsadvani. Hamsadvani piece is a collection of 6 kurals from chapter, as we call it, Adhikaram, 4 from Aran Valiyuruttal, also known as Virtues, segment and this is set to Ragam Hamsadvani. Temple of Music is going to be playing that piece for us tonight, and enjoy. Temple of Music, ladies and gentlemen. We have students, children, kids here from elementary to high school, and it is about 9:46. And the energy we saw there, right? Awesome. Thank you. And special thanks to our guru, Sri Ganesh Rajagopalan, for training our students to have this passion and energy at this time to play this. Thank you, sir. And that was in the Ragam Hamsadvani. And next we have a composition that is in the Ragam Bahudari, and they are going to be playing Tilana. And this is composed by our very own violin maestro, Sri Ganesh Gopalan. And once again, Temple of Music will be performing that for you. vibrant performance by Temple of Music students. So for visual representation here, there are 12 students sitting on stage. Each one of them, they are holding a violin in their hands and presented this beautiful piece for all of you, composed by Sri Ganesh Rajagopalan. Thank you, sir. So now I would like to invite violin maestro Sri Ganesh Rajagopalan, one of the composers, onto stage here, please, to say a few words. And along with Ganesh sir, I would also like to invite Wes Wedall, who worked very closely with Lata to make this evening happen. Please.
Oh, what a delight to have this as part of the show. Another big hand for all the moving parts that made this happen. Each of you get a certificate proving that this happened. In 5 days, when Town Hall makes the YouTube public, you can prove it again. And Violin Maestro, you get one too.
Thank you. Yes. If you have anything you'd like to...
Thank you, everyone, for being here. Thank you, Thomas, and all the authors. Thank you, Bushwick Book Club, for doing this event and getting all the children here and do this performance. What a wonderful occasion for us to be here performing. And that's because of Thomas for doing this translation. As Shanti said, I also come from Tamil Nadu. And I speak Tamil, that's my mother tongue. And I actually lived few minutes away from the temple, which is built in honor of Thiruvalluvar. There's a very big temple in Mylapore that I used to visit as a young kid. And we learned the Tirukural in school as part of our syllabus. And to be talking about him, the great saint and philosopher, here in Seattle is unbelievable for me. Thank you, Thomas, for doing this. And I was so astonished by the way that he was saying Tamil, because the Ra is the most beautiful letter in the language, and he was able to say the words so proficiently. Even a lot of Tamil people who speak Tamil, these days, they all say Tamil, not Tamil. So it was so very surprising and astonishing, awesome. I like to thank Thomas for doing that. And through Temple of Music, this is the youth ensemble of Temple of Music, and we do a lot of concerts and all that. We did a fundraising event for artists from India last year, and we raised some money, and we were able to help a lot of these artists because of who suffered because of the pandemic. And thank you, Seattle, for doing that. Thank you. And we are in the process of collaborating with Western music classical composer, and also doing a collaborative effort with him. And for that, we are doing some more concerts. We have lined up many concerts in January so that we could do that in 2022 with help from up there and help from you all. So thank you for inviting me. Thank you, Lata, for doing this, for producing this wonderful event. Thank you, Wes, for coordinating the whole thing. Thank you, everyone. Good night. I hope I said everything I wanted to say.
Thank you all. Thank you, sir. And A lot of people made this happen, and it wouldn't be complete if I don't say thank you to all of them, so please. On behalf of Lata, I'd like to thank Wes Wedall, Bushwick Book Club, Seattle, Seattle Town Hall, composers, violin maestro Ganesh Rajagopalan, Lalita Mohan, and Temple of Music. Special thanks to Ganesh Rajagopalan sir for training the students for this great performance, and many more to come. Special thanks to the author, Thomas Hitoshi Pruiksma, for translating this great work and bringing Tirukural all the way to Seattle. Special thanks to Subhadra Achala for the coordination. Special thanks to Elmo for introducing Lata to Wes and entrusting her with the great project. Special thanks to Chandra Achala for all the tech and all the other support that they continue to provide. Finally, I would like to thank Lata Sambamurthy, the producer of this Kural performance. Thank you all for a great evening. Good night.
The Temple of Music. As a poet, I'm a little surprised that I had not previously heard of the Kural, but I'm excited to read it. Poetry and music are food for the soul, and if your soul is not filled right now after seeing these folks perform, then I don't want to know what your soul eats. Because for me, that was like Thanksgiving, Hanukkah, and Deepavali all at the same time. It was wonderful. So thank you again. Our next performer has a very short bio. So yeah. Oh goodness, ad-lib, Evan, ad-lib. This is Eric Lane Barnes. Eric is a Seattle writer, composer, director, teacher, and performer who loves books and fringy theater. He has performed with the Bushwick Book Club in the past at shows which include The Shining, A People's History of the United States, Brokeback Mountain, and the Old Testament. We good?
I think we're good, yeah.
All right. Take it away, Eric.
Thank you. I had been introduced to Thomas, the translator of the Kural, over email, and I asked him if I could set some of the actual words to music, and he graciously said yes. And I figured that would be a much better approach than me writing my thoughts about them. And this, and correct me if I'm wrong, Thomas, but I believe I heard you say that part of the thought is that we exist because of compassion, that the world exists, reality exists because of compassion. I've been a Buddhist for over 30 years, and it's been a long process of letting go of everything that gets in the way of compassion. And so this really seemed to fit for me. Reading through the verses of the Kural reminded me of the Lojong teachings by Atisha, who is a 12th century Tibetan Buddhist monk and teacher. And so what I've done, and these to me, the slogans of the Lojong teachings, just as the couplets that I saw in the Kural, to me, they are to be ingested and mused upon and kept in the mind and kept in the mouth and kept in the ear. Not as a strict set of these are commandments, but these are things to think about, to marinate in. And I found that oftentimes setting things to music is a good way for that to happen. So we have 3 slides. There are 3 different numbers that I have set to music. The first one is number 30. Those who let go embody grace. They show compassion to all. I'm going to sing that, and then you're going to sing it with me. Those who let go embody grace. They show compassion to all. Your turn. Those who let go embody grace. They show compassion to all. Now what's going to happen is that we're going to be split into 3 parts, and you're each going to sing a part. So I would much rather hear you sin boldly than not sin at all. So let's sing that again. Ready, and those who let go embody grace. They show compassion to all. For good measure, one more time. Those who let go embody grace. They show compassion to all. Good. Let's go to the next slide. This can be for lower voices. This is number 221. Giving to those with nothing is giving. All else expects a return. Giving to those with nothing is giving. All else expects a return. Try that. Giving to those with nothing is giving. All else expects a return. Once again. Giving to those with nothing is giving. All else expects a return. Now let's just do those 2. I'm going to split you just kind of like this. So you folks do number 1. You folks do number 2. And here's number 1 again. Actually, let's all sing number 1, and then we'll split. Those who let go, ready, and those who let go embody grace. They show compassion to all. You guys continue with that, and giving to those with nothing is giving. All else expects a return. You're a chorus. I love it. Now there's a third. This is number 472. For those who stand firm in knowledge and possibility, no deed is undoable. 2, 3, and for those who stand firm in knowledge and possibility, no deed is undoable. Try it again. For those who stand firm in knowledge and possibility, no deed is undoable. You got some folks doing that? I can always sing this one on top, and you can do the first 2. Should I do that? Let's do that. Okay. So let's do the first. The next slide has all 3. So choose which one you want to do. Just whatever you want. I don't care if it's this side or that side. Anyone do you want. Let's start with the giving to those with nothing, and then we'll put it all together. This is the giving to those, 2, 3, and giving to those with nothing is giving. All else expects a return. Now let's all sing, those who let go, ready, and those who let go embody grace. They show compassion to all. You're on your own now. Keep going. For those who stand firm in knowledge and possibility, no deed is undoable. For those who who stand firm in knowledge and possibility. No deed is undoable. One more time. For those who stand firm in knowledge and possibility. No deed is undoable. That was wonderful. Thanks, folks.
Oh, thank you, Eric. You know, I did not think that a Buddhist was going to take me to church on a Saturday night, and, you know, let alone a fella like us. Sparkly. Goodness gracious. I'm kind of speechless after those two performances back to back. I'm glad that Nottingham and Wicks is going to take us out this evening, because I'm blissed and flying, and I'm ready to hear one more gorgeous piece of music. So, Nottingham and Wicks, Ken Nottingham and Carrie Wicks have been collaborating on songwriting since 2008. Their first tune became the title track of Carrie's first jazz CD, I'll Get Around to It. Since then, for the Bushwick Book Club, they've co-written 17 songs, many of which can be found on Carrie's CDs from Origin OA2 Records. She's been nominated 3 times for the Earshot Jazz Vocalist of the Year Award. Clap for that. Ken Nottingham plays bass for Sam Russell and the Harbor Rats, the Cup Holders, and the Foghorns. His own band, Creeping Time, is currently recording a new album, and you can hear Ken play in Sam Russell and the Harbor Rats every second Friday at the Pink Door. Is Shanghai Pearl still curating the Pink Door performances? Shanghai Pearl, is she still? I don't know. Okay, never mind. If you ever get a chance to see Shanghai Pearl, she's a burlesquer and an MC, go see her. And go see Nottingham and Wicks. They've previously performed with Bushwick for Subduction, Educated, The Wind-Up Bird Chronicles, A Tribute to Walt Whitman, The Little Prince, The Handmaid's Tale, and a dozen more. All right, take it away, Nottingham and Wicks. Thank you for joining us.
Good evening. We are grateful to be here this evening with you all in person. This is kind of fabulous. I think it's my one gig of the year or two. And we were just trying to figure out how to describe ourselves in the green room. And what did we come up with? It was middle-aged Caucasian mutts. And I'm wearing a dress that I got from a thrift store in Vermont when I visited my mom there recently, and smart wool leggings. And Ken's wearing jeans and a sort of Oxford, it's kind of sloppy, and a gray cap or a stocking beanie, something. Reading this book, The Kural, that was translated by Thomas Pruiksma, for me, it was like a reminder on how to be a better human in general, and especially when speaking. I have trouble saying things, lacking tact sometimes with friends over the years, and so some of the couplets on sweet words and sweet speech, as in the Buddhist right speech, those were the ones that I was focusing on. And one of my favorites was, humility and sweet speech adorn one in beauty, all else does not. And then another favorite one was, when one attains sweetness and order in words, the world rushes to listen. And then we just had a bunch of our favorite couplets, and Ken, we kind of put them, sort of mashed them together, and Ken made some things rhyme. And we have this song, and I'm going to try to remember to tell you the title of the song, because usually I forget to do that at these events. And so the title of our song is We Among Mortals, a meditation on D. Dorian. Did you want to say anything else? Sure. Oh.
What I liked about this book, usually I'm a kind of a voracious reader and I just plow through books. But this one, I read them really fast. But this book, I could not read fast. This is a book you kind of have to live with. And I don't know, it made me slow down in my reading a little bit, which was really, really nice. And I was like reading maybe a page or 2 or 3 a day and just like focusing and kind of meditating on each thing. And it was a really, really nice way to read. So I really liked the book in that way. I've never really read anything quite like this. It's very amazing.
So we would highly recommend that everyone get a copy of this book and give it a good read at some point. But, you know, not a quick read, a slow read. We among mortals who have nothing to hold on to, grasping for the phosphorite and conjuring with all our might a smile that lets us dance within the light, a smile that lets us dance within the light. Drop into the unknowing that somehow bears the truth showing, which transfigures and liberates, where peace and warmth reverberate, spinning carefree in the void, spinning carefree in the void. To make conscious the shadow, we embody the everlasting grace. To disengage from the darkness, its pure essence we must ultimately embrace. whispering soft, sweet words over the most perfect chords. Goodness grows with every breath as we revel in whatever's left, remembering blessings of the past, remembering blessings of the past. By caring, we build empathy, and in our fears find sympathy, setting free the beauty of humility, growing love, for a smile that lets us dance, for a smile that lets us dance. Oh, babe, oh, babe, oh, babe, oh, up, 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 Ken Nottingham.
Thank you, Nottingham and Wicks. Always a pleasure. I've been in a lot of Bushwick Book Club shows, and this may be the best one I've ever been in. This show is just fantastic. So once again, on behalf of the entire Bushwick Book Club, we would like to thank Front of House Sound by Dave Campbell, Live Stream Tech, Evan Mosher and Stefan Anundsen. We really worked out the audiovisual team tonight. Keep clapping for them. They make this happen. Poster design by Michael Wallenfels. Bushwick production team of Jeff Larson, Melissa Montalto, Alyssa Newhall, Michael Wallenfels, and Wes Waddell. And our town hall friends, program director Shin-Yi Pai, Adele Clifton, the house manager, and the team of Claire, Dylan, James, Callie, and Sean. Sean, thank you for everything backstage. Please join us in January 8th, for original music inspired by Michelle Zauner's Crying in H-Mart, live and live streaming concurrently from right here. On that note, I am your host, Evan J. Peterson. Please get home safely. And is the guru still in the house? No? Can anyone tell me how to say goodnight in Tamil? What was that? Vanakkam? Vanakkam. Vanakkam. Good night and vanakkam.